Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, um, I haven't been uh, keeping up with what was going on with TikTok as far as that goes. So, basically, um, the sale of TikTok is imminent, depending on who would have the best offer when it comes to that. And so, there's like at least six different companies that want to buy out TikTok, So, in a way, I think the ones I can think of on the top of my head would be, you know, Amazon, would be a potential buyer there because especially, what was going on with Twitch that I heard from like Clownfish TV and any of the others, that Twitch is going down in flames is one of the things there. And then if Amazon acquires TikTok, they can merge it with Twitch and have like some new platform that could be a whole lot better, that sort of thing. But there's also like Meta, wanting to buy TikTok, and there could be something that Meta could have, you know, in the woodwork, if they acquired TikTok, or even like Google, for that example, merging TikTok with YouTube and all that, and you know that sort of thing, or even like Yahoo acquiring TikTok, because since like Yahoo is another tech company that hasn't really been that relevant that much these days anyways, and if they acquired TikTok, that could also be a shot in the arm of that sword, but that's, even though I don't know if that's really the case, but that's just my speculation of that sort. And then of course there's like X, as far as what I said earlier about like Elon Musk getting his grubby little hands on it and then ruining, TikTok, just as much as he had ruined Twitter as far as that goes. But in a way, it's just going to be like one of those little things again, where people were like, but my private platform, as far as that goes. But still, I was like thinking more about all that there, but it also depends on like not just those companies, but companies that like even like Rubio. I mean the company that made Angry Birds was another possible contender. Because it's one of those little things like you never even think of. As far as like Rodeo acquiring it, or some other companies like, Opera, or Microsoft or Apple, acquiring TikTok. And so the whole possibilities of all that is endless practically as far as what comes to TikTok anyways. So in a ways, if it was something that Neon and Geeky Sparkles had talked about the other day when it came to TikTok, there was that I think there's just certain people are now just kind of like had already like mourned the loss of TikTok anyways, because it's one of the things I had said before. I've been on the internet for quite a while, and it was like, for at least like 30 years, and so there's always been like different platforms on the internet had came and went, and certain technologies and stuff like that. It also came to mind, as far as like, what was before uh, TikTok. There was Vine, and then of course there was like YouTube, and then before there was YouTube, there was Newgrounds, because although like, you know, it was like user generated, that sort of thing back in the day, 25 years ago. And then before there was like Facebook, there was MySpace, and and then before that there was like Yahoo clubs, Yahoo groups, and then before there was Reddit, there was like Dig, and there was also any of like the news groups back then. And before there was like like Snapchat, WhatsApp, and Kik, and all that. And there was like Yahoo Messenger and AOL Instant Messenger and ICQ and all that. And then before there was like all that, there was also like IRC and all these other little things, and that's kind of like the whole reason why I'm just not really all that phased by not having, TikTok as far as that goes, because then again, TikTok's a bit garbage anyways, so, yeah. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it, so talk to you guys later.